So, I am back. What's up guys, Truman here, welcome back to another video. So, I managed to get some time off and I've managed to find a really nice spot here to film this because I am nearly on day 90 and I've been doing this for so long that I am just full of excitement for actually getting there and actually being able to mount the trophy on your wall and say, yes, I finally got it. Now, I know I've said before, it's not about the days. And I failed many times before, which is why I think it's pointing for me to make this video, because I have failed so many times. I have written the book. I have made every mistake in the book. I have failed for every single mistake in the book. So I'm going to spend the next hopefully 10-20 minutes letting you guys know how to crush NoFap. Some of these tips are going to be extremely obvious to you, but if you aren't doing these things and you are failing, then please listen, because these will allow you to just breeze through NoFap. Number one, most obvious, clear your internet history. This is something that I see so many people not doing. They will say, okay, let's do NoFap, and they'll still have the whole internet browser, and depending on how addicted they are to the actual stuff, they will immediately go home after a long day's work, load up their browser, and then immediately be bombarded with all these tabs and all this other stuff. And then they'll be like, well, you know, it's sort of like, you know, coming home after quitting smoking and finding like a few fresh rolled cigarettes, something that I also struggle to do. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, you're just going to be setting yourself up to fail. So starting off as a clean slate, literally just wiping the whole thing clean, literally wipe your desk off. You don't want any of those stains. Wipe off your internet history. You don't want any of that, and that's going to be the easiest way to get yourself as a fresh start. That also includes magazines, if you have any porn magazines, because you've been living under a rock and you haven't discovered the internet, or you know that your brother's stash is somewhere. All right, so step number 2, focusing too much on the goal. Now, I know we're men like goals, men like objectives, men like focusing and zeroing in on something and saying, I want this, and they have a whole big list of stuff that they want from NoFap, and they've been reading all these stories about all these superpowers. And so what happens is that they focus on the 90 days. I just want to get the 90. But you know what that happens? That has the complete reverse effect. You basically start counting the days instead, and I'm going to get onto that later. But if you focus too much on the goal and not just focus on the days, then what's going to happen is that every single day is going to be monotonous. You're going to wake up every day thinking, oh God, I've got 60 days left until, or I've got 89 days left, and it's like, don't. Just focus on the day, enjoy the sun, enjoy everything, and you know, don't focus too much about this ridiculous hill that you have to climb. You don't have to do that. Just you know, the goal is nice, it's a nice header, but if you focus too much on the actual 90 days, it gets a bit too much. Like me, for example, like I'm really excited to get to 90 finally, but at the same time I know that 90 is not the end. And this is something I told my friend as well, is that if you think that it's just to 90, what's going to happen is you're going to get to 90 and it's going to be really easy to relapse. It's not getting out of your comfort zone. Now, I see so many people talking and making making posts about how they're not actually getting anything from NoFap, or they don't feel anything from NoFap. And the one thing that really motivated me to keep going was getting out of my comfort zone. Now, you will never really see all of the different effects and how you've changed if you're going to the same job, if you're playing the same games, if you're sitting in the same room every single day, if you're doing the same exercises, if you're seeing the same people. When you get out of your comfort zone, that is when you know that you can actually see and experience all the benefits that you've earned. Now, this can be for various different things. Maybe you could just go to a different park every day. Maybe you could just, you know, go to a different gym. You know what I'm talking about when it comes to coming out of your comfort zone. Because if you've been doing the same thing again and again, you may feel some benefits, but the thing is that you already have pre-programmed ideas about how you're going to feel in this situation and how you're going to feel in that situation. So it's very hard to actually experience the full benefits and therefore experience the full motivation and therefore get to the end if you're still in the same place every single day. Now, I actually felt for myself that did help, because what I found is that when I actually went out to different parties and stuff, I found it was so inspiring to see myself just change, and so inspiring to see myself just basically interact in ways that I never thought that I could. So actually doing that and actually getting out of your comfort zone is absolutely imperative if you really want to see the benefits, if you really want to see the motivation to do it. We've all done this. Relapsed. Every single one of us has relapsed. Every single one of us, unless you're one of those people, those special people, lucky you, has relapsed before they've done it. And every single person has done whatever they have beaten themselves up. They have beaten themselves up. They have beaten themselves to a pulp. And me, I've done this for 4 years. I've beaten myself so much, like literally underneath my skin is just bruised. It's not muscle tissue, it's bruised tissue. Like, I beat myself up so many times. You can only imagine. My record was 85 days. I think I'm on day 85 now. I relapsed my last day, day 85, and there are reasons for that. You can watch my video about that. But I swear to God, I just took a club, and now I'm whack. How could I? Why? How could I? And it was just one of those things where it made it super hard to start again, because it's like, oh, you're a failure, there's no point doing it. And I was so close to giving up, and I didn't. I kept going, which is why I'm still here, day 85, still making videos. And as you can tell, I've changed. Like, I can't wait to get to day 90 when I can actually do like a proper montage, because my body language, the way I feel, the way I act is completely different to the way I was before. And I would have never got there if I kept beating myself up. So if you're going to be doing the NoFap thing, know that you will fail and you will want to beat yourself up. But as much as you can, try not to, because it's going to make it twice as hard. Not only that, whenever you're actually doing the challenge, you're going to have this constant fear in the back of your mind, just like, you know, a very strict parent in the back of your mind, that if you fail this math test, you're going to get beaten. So the fear is going to be there, and it's going to compromise your ability to focus. It's going to compromise your ability to really, just do the challenge without feeling too stressed. This is one that everyone falls for, I think. It's basically, before you start NoFap or while you're doing NoFap, you watch all the videos, don't you? You go all to the superpower videos, you go to the videos that say that, oh, I am now Goku incarnate, and you get all these stars in your eyes about all, you know, what it's going to be like, linking back to my last goal, what it's going to be like, how it's going to feel, and you start thinking to yourself, wow, I really can't wait to get this power and this power and this power. And then you get down the road and you think, hey, I still feel the same, and it's really demotivating. Now, I'm kind of guilty of this, because some of my most successful videos are ones where I talk about superpowers. Like, I think one of my most successful NoFap ones is called Superpower, Sudden Clarity, and Epiphany, or something like that. And it wasn't clickbait. It was generally, I had a massive, like, awakening moment during it. But what happens is, there are people that actually watch that, and what happens to them is they start thinking to themselves, I want that now. And why hasn't that happened? It's been 20 days, I haven't been jacking off, and I'm not Goku. You know, it's like this sort of stuff will only ever serve to demotivate you. So as much as you can, don't spend too much time watching these superpower videos. You know, just focus on yourself, focus on the day, and try to not get too many stars in your eyes. Because let's face it, guys, NoFap is not some big, amazing superpower. And I've said this, I think, in a video when I was here as well. All NoFap does is it reconnects you with your male self, with your male energy. And we live in a society right now where the normal has become abnormal. So although we feel as if, you know, everything's normal and we're doing everything, in reality, most men are walking around without any testosterone. Most men are walking around deficient in key minerals and that helps them with their focus and drive, like iodine and magnesium and stuff like that. And we think it's normal. But what NoFap does, right, is it peels off the veil so you can see for yourself just what it actually means to be a man, just what it actually means to have functional testosterone, or at least close to the levels. So you can walk out and you could be really comfortable and you could be really out there and outgoing and stuff like that. So, but don't get too focused on the actual results. Literally, just do not get stars in your eyes about the superpower stuff, because all it will do is serve to be is color your experience. So this is going to be about day counting. Now, I actually said this before about day counting, is that when you start counting too much on the days, especially when you have some sort of goal in mind, it gets really monotonous. Like, for example, if you had to have 200 steps towards a certain place, and you were going to count 200 steps, every single step, it's going to be a long journey. So if you count every single day that you're actually doing it, it will just make the whole experience so much harder to do. It will make it so that every single day is a drag. Every single day you will wake up and count how many days you are through this and count how many days you are till the end. Now, it's a very funny phenomenon what happened to me, because I've been doing this challenge for so long that after a while I stopped counting. Like, I stopped counting. And you know what? There are actually weeks that went by where I wasn't even counting. It was like, it was just this thing in the background whereby, you know, I didn't have to count, I didn't need to count, but if I wanted to count, I could, you see. But when I first started, I was like, day 1, okay, day 2, okay, day 3, and the whole thing is a struggle. And when you're struggling for the first 2 times and you're counting, it's torture. It is self-torture. There's really no need for it, and you're going to do yourself a big favor if you just forget about the days and focus on the now. I have an analogy for this, for example. If you are, for example, going to climb a mountain, right? You want to climb a massive mountain, and you start climbing and you're staring at the sun. You're staring at the sun all the time. And not only are you staring at the sun, but you're counting your steps as well. So you're focusing on the goal and you're just counting how long it takes. What's going to happen eventually is you are going to trip and you're going to fall back down that mountain again and again and again. What you need to do is look ahead at the now and deal with it as it comes. Instead of counting every single step and instead of staring at the 90-day goal, just look, concentrate on your surroundings and concentrate on your day so that you don't slip up. Because when you focus too much on your steps and you focus too much on the goals, it's very easy to get complacent. But if you wake up and say, all right, the only time is now, I'm just going to focus on having the best day right now, the days will fly right by and it's going to be a lot easier to actually do the challenge. When you start doing NoFap, you're going to have a large surge of energy. This energy is going to come as your chakras align and as you get more testosterone and as you have more minerals because you're no longer using them. Now, if you don't use that, it's just going to get recycled. And as it keeps going and going and going, it's not going to find a way to get out. You need a way to actually release it. You need something to do. You need to be able to find a project or something that you can do to take up your time. If you have a lot of spare time, that is, to basically do it. Because I see so many guys out there, they're doing all this NoFap stuff, but they're not making any sort of changes to their lifestyle. Now, if you don't change your lifestyle and you're still sitting in the same room doing the same stuff, you're going to get frustrated because all this masculine energy needs a release. And if it doesn't get a release, all you're going to do is it's going to find its root in your old self, in your old patterns. And most likely those patterns are going to be negative because let's face it, most people are actually really, really negative. So I found this for me is that when I got all this new energy, I had to do something with it. Hence why you're probably seeing I'm pumping out a lot of new videos. I feel super motivated and I actually get up every day. Like I love doing YouTube now. I love doing the whole stuff. I found a creative outlet whereby I could channel all this energy. You need to find something to do if you really want to, really experience the effects. Plus it's nice because you can see, wow, I have all this energy again. Wow, I have all this stamina again. It's great. Exercise. So exercise, this sort of goes back to my last point, is that if you are doing NoFap and you want to see results, hit the gym. Hit the gym. One of the most common things that people talk about whenever they're actually doing NoFap and the sort of benefits is the fact that when they go to pump iron, they pump iron. They pump iron. Like they are serious, they can feel a difference and it really, really motivates them just to keep going. It is sort of one of those things that, like, again, going back to the comfort zone, it's a positive feedback loop. You do the exercise and then, you feel better. So you feel more motivated to do NoFap. So it's easier to do NoFap. So then you keep doing NoFap for longer. So then you go back and do exercise and then, you see, and it's a positive feedback loop. So exercise and also supplements. There are a whole list of supplements that are absolutely great to take if you're doing NoFap. Now, I don't have time to go through a lot of them, but one of them is zinc, the other one is B12, and the last one is iodine. Those three are absolutely amazing if you're doing NoFap. They will double your actual results. I'm planning on doing a video, if not tomorrow, then the day after, about the exact supplements, or probably not, probably the weekend because I'm working hard, about the exact supplements to do. But yes, exercise and supplements are absolutely key. You are not alone. You are not alone. If you are trying to do all this stuff by yourself, I'm sorry, it's going to be very hard and you most likely, well, if you can, you're great, but let's face it, guys, we are social creatures. We need people. And doing this sort of stuff is really hard if you're doing it on your own and no one can ever give you some advice about it. I don't think I would have been able to get this far if not for the amazing support and advice from some of the people that have been watching my videos, like Mike V, like Alfonso, like all the other guys, Legendary Winner, all these people. They were there when I was really down, and honestly, I cannot thank them enough. And getting that sort of support network around you to actually do this is absolutely critical if you want to just one-shot the whole thing, or if you really want a really successful run. We are not solitary creatures. I mean, I'm an introvert. This is coming from an introvert. I hate people, but I love them at the same time. You know what I mean? Introverts will understand that when I say that I hate people, but I love them, at the same time. But it's like, you are not alone. You need that ability to reach out to people who are on the journey, people who maybe haven't heard the journey, but that has a danger to it, which leads me on to my next point. Try not to tell a lot of people who have never done NoFap about you doing NoFap. And there's a reason for this. The same reason that I don't basically tell everyone, you know, basically, if you have a big grand design or big grand plan about what you want to do, don't go around and tell everyone. Don't tell everyone. Only tell the people who you know can either help or understand. Because what happens is, if you have a fresh idea in your head and you just need to make it into fruition, and it's really and you're really unsure about it, if you tell people who don't understand or know about it, they're going to give their doubt to you. There's a big chance that they're going to spread doubt all over it. And because the idea hasn't fully come to fruition in the world around you, or even in your mind, you're now going to have to contend with that doubt. Maybe it's not the right thing to do. And that really, it just messes up the whole thing. Keep it to yourself. If you're doing NoFap, keep it to your support network, keep it with people that you know will be supportive regardless of what it is, but don't go around telling your work colleagues and stuff, because I made that mistake and they just looked at me like, what the hell are you doing? Why would I do that? That is so stupid, and I did not need it, so my fault. And that's all I've got to say for today, guys. I'm out of time. It's a shame I didn't get through to all the points where my battery is running out. There's about 7 tips out there, but like I said, there is no such thing as failure. There is no such thing as failure. If you go to the gym with your idea of doing 100 press-ups and you fail, there's no point beating yourself up, because if you keep going back, even if you don't reach 100, by the 56th try, you look down, you're gonna have some muscles on you. So there's no such thing as failure. There is only progress. Keep doing it. Don't focus too much on the goal. Understand the tips. Reach out, don't beat yourself up, and anyone can do this. So I hope that was motivating for people, and I hope this video came out well, because I doubt I'll be doing this a second time. And Freeman out. Peace.